Hello guys, my name is Prince and this is Math Center. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. Post your comments and questions on my social media handles and I'll respond to it. We are on the topic linear equations and linear inequalities. We are beginning with linear equations. In the previous video, we learned about the introduction to linear equations. We learned what equations are and we also saw how to identify linear equations and what it means to solve a linear equation. In this video, we are going to take some examples and see how to solve linear equations. To help us understand how to solve linear equations, I have grouped the types of linear equations into types. In this video, we are going to consider the first type. We will consider the other types in the subsequent videos. So let's begin with the first type. The first type is equations with letter on only one side of the equation. The letter here refers to the variable. So in this type of equation, the variable is on only one side of the equation. We are going to see how to solve this type of equation. So when you have such an equation, what do? You group like terms and simplify. You group the terms that are like and you simplify. So what are like terms? For linear equations, you will see that, so what is this? Like terms. That is what I'm going to explain to you. Now, in linear equations, you will see that some of the terms have the variables attached to it. So some terms will have variables attached to it, while other terms will have no variable attached to it. So what we mean by group like terms is that group all the terms with the variables attached to it on one side of the equation, then group all the terms with no variable attached to it on the other side of the equal to sign. So let's say you group all the terms with variables attached to it on the left side of the equation. Then you group all the terms without variable attached to it on the right side of the equation. Now, after you've been able to do that, the next thing is that you simplify what you have. Now, in grouping like terms, remember that the sign of a number changes when it crosses the equal sign. That means that positive becomes negative and negative becomes positive. When we pick examples, you understand what this statement here means. So let's solve some examples. Solve for x in the following. You have been given 4 questions, so we take them one after the other. We take the first one. We have 3x is equal to 15. Now, this is the simplest form of the linear equation that you can get. So we are going to begin from the simplest form, then we gradually increase the difficulty level. It's not going to be so difficult. We are just going to upgrade what we do from here. So we have the first type, which is 3x is equal to 15. Now the point told us that whenever we have this, the first thing we need to do is to group like terms. From there we simplify. So here, let's see if we can group like terms. We have 3x is equal to 15. The terms has already been grouped for us. The term with x attached to it is on the left hand side. The terms without x attached to it is on the right hand side, and we have only 2 terms. We have 3x and 15. So like terms has already been grouped for us. So here we assume that we have grouped like term because it has already been grouped for us. Now, because we have been able to group the like terms, or the like terms has been grouped for us, the next thing we need to do is to simplify. So here we are going to simplify. We are going to make x stand alone. Remember when we said that if you are being told to solve a linear equation, what it means is that find the value of the variable in the equation. So here we are finding the value of x. What that means is that we are making x the subject. We are making x stand alone. So we have to find a way to make x stand alone. Now let's look at something. 3 is attached to x. What this means is that 3x here will give us 3 times x. We learned from algebra that when we see 2 numbers attached like this, it means they are multiplying. So 3x here means 3 times x. 3 is multiplying x, and we want x to stand alone. So we have to find a way to get rid of 3. Now, how do we get rid of 3? To help us get rid of 3, we are going to divide what we have here, 3x here, by 3. That is the number attached to the 3. Because if we divide it by 3, from division of fractions, you've seen that when you are dividing fractions, common factors on the numerator can cancel common factors on the denominator. So as soon as we divide this by 3, you will see that the 3 that is on the denominator here can cancel itself. The 3 will cancel itself and cancel the 3 on the numerator. You see that we have now gotten rid of the 3 that was attached to the x. That is our main aim. So we have been able to cancel the 3 that is attached to the x. We've been able to cancel it out. That is what we want, and that is what we wanted, and we have been able to achieve it. Now, because this is an equation, what you do to the left hand side, you do the same thing to the right hand side. So if you are dividing 3x here by 3, you can't leave this side. You have to divide here also by 3. So we are going to have 15 divided by 3. Now, as you can see, 3 will cancel itself here and cancel this 3 here. So it means that we've gotten rid of this 3 here. So the numerator part here is x, because this 3 is gone. Now here 3 cancels itself 1, so the denominator here is going to be 1. When you come here, 15 divided by 3 will cancel itself 1 and cancel 15 5 times. You know that any number divided by 1 is the same number. So x divided by 1 will give us x. 5 divided by 1 will give us 5. So you've seen how this is done. To help us get x, we divide x by the number attached to x so that that number can cancel itself out. So when you do that, x will stand alone. And what you do to the left hand side, you do the same thing to the right hand side. So you divide 15 also by the number attached to x, which is 3. And we did the simplification, and we're having x is equal to 5. Let's take the next type of question. We have 4x plus 2 is equal to 10. Once again, when you have this, what the point told us was that we have to group like terms and simplify. So what are like terms here? Now we can see that 4 here has s attached to it, but 2 does not have s attached to it. 10 also does not have s attached to it. What it means is that 2 and 10 are like terms. So you group them. Now because 4x here is the only term with s attached to it, it will be on one side. Then 2 and 10 will also be on the other side. 4x is already on the left hand side, so I will leave it there. So I'm going to leave 4x here. Then I will take 2 from this side and bring it to this side. So you see that 2 will cross the equal to sign. Now because 2 is crossing the equal to sign, remember the point told us in the beginning that when a number crosses the equal to sign, the sign on it changes. If it's positive, it becomes negative. If it's negative, it becomes positive. So what is the sign for 2 here? The sign of a number is the sign in front of it. So the sign in front of 2 is positive, which means that 2 here is positive. When it crosses the equal to sign, it becomes negative. 10 is already here, so I will keep 10. 2 is positive. When it crosses, it becomes negative, so it becomes minus 2. Now this is going to give us 4x is equal to 10 minus 2 is 8. Now you see, this is the same as the first example that we had. What do? We divide 4x here by 4 so that we can get rid of 4. Then we divide 8 also by 4, because what you do to the left hand side, you do the same thing to the right hand side. Now 4 will cancel 4, so we are going to have x. 8 divided by 4 will give us 2. Let's consider the next example. We have 2x minus 3 is equal to 7. So once again, you group like terms. We know from here that 3 and 7 are like terms, so you group them together. Now 2x here is the only term with s attached to it, so it will be on one side. Because it's already on the left hand side, I will not worry myself with sending it here, so I'm going to keep it here. Rather, I will send the 3 to this side. The sign in front of 3 is minus, so it means that this 3 here is negative. So when it crosses the equal to sign, it becomes positive. So I'll keep 2x here. 7 is already the first term here, so that's also there. Now 3 here is negative. When it comes here, it's going to be positive. So 7 plus 3. So 2x will give us 7 plus 3, which is 10. Once again, what do you do here? You divide here by 2, divide here by 2, so that you can get rid of 2 here. So 2 will cancel 2 to give us x. 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. Let's consider the next example. 13 minus 5x is equal to 3. Once again, you group like terms. That is the first thing you need to do in this type. You group like terms. So how do you group like terms? You first have to identify the like terms. We have 5x here. It is the only term with x attached to it in this whole equation. So it will stand alone. Now 13 and 3 are like terms. So I'm going to group 13 and 3 at one side. Now because I already have this here, I'm not going to send it to this side. I already have minus 5x here. I'm not going to send it to the other side. I will keep it here. The sign in front of 5 is minus, so it means that this minus here belongs to 5x, so the minus will be here. The sign in front of 13 is positive. When you write a number with no sign in front of it, it means that it's positive. Now because there's no sign in front of 13 here, it means that 13 is positive. So when 13, which is positive, crosses the equal to sign to this side, it's going to be negative. So I'm going to have minus 5x, I'll keep it at this side. 3 is the first term here, so I'll write it. Then 13 will come to this side to be minus 13, because 13 was positive, so when it comes here it becomes minus 13. So I'm going to have minus 5x is equal to 3 minus 13 will give us minus 10. So what do? The number attached to s is minus 5. I want s to stand alone. I want to free x. I want to make s the subject. So what do? I will divide s by the number attached to s. The number attached to s is minus 5. So I will divide minus 5s by minus 5, so that the minus 5 and the minus 5 will cancel for s to stand alone. Now what I will do to the left hand side, I will do the same thing to the right hand side. So I have to divide minus 10 here also by minus 5. Here when you cancel, we are going to have s here. Minus 10 divided by minus 5 will give us positive 2. So s is equal to positive 2. Thank you for watching this video on linear equations. Pick more examples on this type of linear equations and try your hands on them. In the next video, we are going to see how to solve the second type of linear equations, where you have the variable or the letter on both sides of the equation. Bye bye.